October 1st, 2015. I come home from a long day of school, and I go into the backyard, and I find my mother lying underneath the tree. She had committed suicide. Now, in the process of grieving and trying to move on, I found myself asking the question, why? I scored over data and statistics, trying to answer the most basic human question of why. And along the way, I discovered things about myself and in life in general. Now, suicide is an increasingly worse problem in America, and Clemson isn't adequately addressing it. Today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about what suicide looks like in America, what it looks like on a college level, and what Clemson can change in its educational programs to help combat this. Now, suicide is an epidemic in America. While rates of homicide, death due to illness, and unintentional deaths have decreased, the rate of suicide has increased across all age groups. According to the Foundation for Suicide Prevention, every year 42,773 people in America commit suicide, 117 every day, 1 every 11 and a half hours in South Carolina. And for every suicide, there are 25 attempts. That's over 1 million attempted suicides every year. Now, why do people commit suicide? Well, it could be for a number of reasons: depression, a sense of hopelessness, even illness. But according to Dr. Todd B. Cashin, a professor at George Mason University, one of the number one reasons given in suicide notes is a sense of burden, or a sense that the world would be better off without them. This isn't a feeling that comes and goes. It's something that's been built and developed over time. Now, what does this look like on a college level? When we all came to college, there was this stigma. The biggest thing that we would have to worry about is partying and drinking and all the alcohol that's around us. That's kind of been discussed here today with all the talk of sexual assault and how alcohol plays into that. But according to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, as of 2015, suicide is the second leading cause of death among college-age students, and between the ages of 10 and 18. In 2014, there were 5,079 suicides among college-age students. But according to the National Institute of Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, only 1,825 deaths occurred due to alcohol-related incidents. That's less than half. Well, then, if this is such a big issue, what is Clemson doing? Now, the common link between all of us here at Clemson isn't the fact that we love football, isn't the fact that we're all Tigers. It's the fact that we've all suffered through CU 1000. Now, CU 1000, according to its syllabus, provides a common intellectual and community development experience for new freshmen and transfer students that focuses on critical thinking, library and information literacy, and personal wellness, safety, and decision-making, as well as Clemson's core values. Now, while this is great and all, what does this mean for suicide? The only section that mentions suicide awareness and mental health is the Aspire to Be Well session, which is about a 2-hour discussion between former freshmen here at Clemson and current freshmen. But in my personal experience of my Aspire to Be Well session, most of the session was dedicated to drug and alcohol abuse, and the expectation and rules here at Clemson if you're caught drinking. Now, this isn't to say that, and this is an important topic. I mean, it's also discussed in the community standards and in all our Title IX training that we've all gone through, and it's been discussed several times tonight. But that's not to say that Clemson doesn't do anything about suicide. There are great programs here at Clemson, one called Tigers Together. Now, Tigers Together, according to their website, is a suicide prevention program that works to provide information and resources, reduce stigma, and promote a community of care. Now, Tigers Together offers tons of workshop sessions that you can go and educate yourself about suicide and suicide awareness, and what to do in that type of situation. It is even funded through the Garrett Lee Smith Memorial Campus Suicide Prevention Grant, administered by the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. Notice, I did not say Clemson. Now, Clemson does have the program, the CAPS program, or the Counseling and Psychological Services, which offers mental health issues and discussion and help along this way. But the only information that I received about this CAPS program was when I had to go find it myself. It was tagged line at the end of the Aspire to Be Well session, completely glossed over and more focused on alcohol abuse. Now, so far, I've just proven to you guys why suicide is a worse problem than alcohol and drugs, and that Clemson isn't doing enough to help that. So what is the solution? Clemson needs to change its CU 1000 program to offer more education on mental health and suicide awareness. Now, why Clemson should be doing this? According to Dr. A.K. King, in an article for the Journal of School Health, wrote that schools are a great spot for suicide prevention programs because they offer consistent, direct time with large portions of adolescents. There are 3 types of suicide prevention: primary, secondary, and tertiary. Primary prevention offers the most direct method for saving lives, and it's the education of students before the act of suicide has happened. Secondary is intervention to ensure safety during the action or the thoughts of suicide. And then tertiary prevention is the minimizing of the trauma after the act has occurred. Now, CU 1000 offers the perfect opportunity for primary suicide prevention because it releases knowledge to every single student on the Clemson campus. And suicide would be brought to the forefront of the conversation here at Clemson instead of taglines at the end. Now, what happens if we don't do this? There is little to no reinforcement that other students aren't a burden on each other. And there's no central awareness or plan of what to do when suicide is happening. And the lack of knowledge is the deadliest. So in conclusion, suicide is a problem in America, and it can be combated by changing the suicide awareness program here at Clemson. I want to be honest with you guys today. When I heard that I was going to be speaking with you, I was really scared. And I realized that it wasn't about me being up front of all you people. It was about what I was talking about. Now, there's this stigma with suicide, and it's scary to talk about. But what's worse is that suicide is dangerous not only to the people who commit it, but to those around them. And not talking about it is the worst thing that can be done. So I ask all of you to advocate for yourself. Advocate for your fellow students. And teachers, advocate for your students and their mental health. Please, I beg you, educate your fellow Tigers. Protect your fellow Tigers. Thank you for your time.